and welcome to Grumpy Old Crone with me, Annie, where for a change I'm going to be doing a huge amount of whinging about something that actually matters quite a lot in the witchcraft and pagan community, and I hope that you feel the same as I do. So I'm going to get dug into this straight off. I'm not going to do a witchy aesthetic because the witchy aesthetic is kind of built into this anyway. So let's call it, I don't know, witchy aesthetic potatoes or something, and let's dig straight in. So I have spent this last week doing some nice stuff, but also being bit of an investigative journalist, which I have been very careful not to drink gin before I attempt to say it because that's quite a mouthful. But I've done a little bit of researching about this and found it very interesting. So let's get dug in. So if you're watching me regularly, you may have seen a couple of weeks ago that I did a video about how much I hated yummy mummy white middle class gurus, spiritual people who are bankrolled by their husbands. They're the ones who decorate their houses with symbology that means nothing to them but is aimed at impressing potential customers. You know, I hate how ridiculously reductive all of this stuff is. Quite a lot of people agreed with me, which is nice to know. Although I do seriously need to offer an apology to people who like white houses and have Buddhas hanging around them. But I would like to say that those people mostly have never tried to sell a course to anybody, so I was not having a pop at you. I hope you know the people that I was having a pop at, and if you're watching this channel, I can almost guarantee it wasn't you. So I apologise to all of you out there with beautiful white houses and the occasional Buddha statue because you're quite a spiritual person. I apologise. This is not aimed at you, or that wasn't aimed at you. Well, this also isn't aimed at you, but still, as an aside, after that video, I was sent the video that I'm going to play you by a friend who laughingly said that I was wrong because, and I quote, sometimes they have brown hair. I laughed and I watched the video. I've added it here so you can see.
Are you a spiritual woman in business that feels a little bit like a walking contradiction? You know, half of you wants to be doing everything slow and yoga and walking bare feet and burning sage and setting intentions under candlelight, and the other half of you wants to be making a truckload of money and absolutely killing it as an entrepreneur. Look, there's space for both of those versions of you, and in my 3-day training I'm going to teach you how to harness both of those things to deeply intertwine witchcraft and killer business strategy that only works for spiritual women, that isn't overly masculine bro marketing. I'm going to teach you both of those things. 3 days, come and spend them with me. It's completely free if you're hearing this right now. It is going to be 200 quid, but I'm offering out a handful of places for free, so if you're still seeing this you could still get one, but hurry up because they're not going to be around for long. I'll see you on the inside. And if you're wondering who I am, my name is Michelle Stonhill. I'm a millionaire mentor, professional witch, self-made millionaire, and single-handedly helped clients to earn over 50 million in combined revenue. I've got you.
It's a lot, I feel that's a lot. I don't know where to start. Probably the fact that the two options that she's putting forward are the witchy way, which she explains means doing things slowly, burning sage, doing yoga, walking barefoot, and the other way, which is about witches who really, really want to be earning a, and I quote, truckload of money. I mean, those two options, they really say nothing very good to me. I mean, they mostly say to me that she doesn't understand the very first thing about witchcraft. Burning sage and doing yoga. Is that what she really thinks witchcraft is about? Because you know and I know it's really, really not. And having people out there trying to sell that as magical practice to people who are probably quite desperate, well, that's not good. There's a lot of parts of this that aren't good. And it all made me really uneasy. Maybe it's the reductive way that she speaks about witchcraft and imagining that money is all that anybody wants. Maybe it's those perfect US teeth, although I do suspect that might be a filter. But you know, anyway. So, but maybe it's that glib way she has of talking. Maybe it's the throwaway mention of witchcraft and the complete alienation and ignoring of all men and non-binary folk who are walking the witchcraft path. Maybe it's all of that and more. Yeah, actually, no, I think about it, it's definitely all of those and more. And that uneasy feeling is something that I personally have learned to trust, particularly in the last 10 years. It's taken me 55 years, but I have finally learned to trust my gut. And my gut was telling me that there was something worth digging into here. And so I Googled. I really enjoy a bit of kind of digging about on the internet, and I was waiting for the curry to cook, so, you know, why not? It was Thai green curry with jasmine rice, by the way, if you're interested. Very nice. Usually, anyway, while mentioning people online, I won't mention them by name, but I'm going to make an exception this time. This person's name is Michelle Stonhill. Not Stonehill, Stonhill, a slightly different sort of name, so I thought that that might make her easier to find. I was right. Now, before we dig into this, I have to say that I don't know this person personally. I am judging based solely on what can be found in the public domain, and I am presenting that information to you, the viewer, to make up your own mind. All of this can be checked online in exactly the same way that I found it, through Google. And whilst I'm judging based on what is found online, I will say that she is also using the information that she has placed online to sell courses, business advice, publications and more. Exactly the same information. So look at it all and make up your own mind. Don't believe me. Go and look for yourself. Okay? So first of all, I found her on Facebook and on Instagram under different accounts, but they were both still definitely her. I watched some of the Facebook reels that she put up, and frankly, I mean, I'm impressed. She knows how to sell. She is very, very slick. I watched the "Hey Witches, come and look around my new office" video. I think it was from November 2024, and I can tell you that was a wild ride. Being someone who watches far more witchcraft YouTube than I probably ought to, it was odd. I mean, I'm not going to link it here because this video will end up being hours and hours long if I'm not careful, but you can go and Google and look her up on Facebook if you are interested. But in this video, she said that she and her husband had just come back from Madeira. They are apparently thinking of settling there, she said. But because they have just recently had to sell the Portuguese retreat that they bought for cash. I mean, why she had to say they bought it for cash, I don't know. I'll take this opportunity then to tell you that I bought my groceries this week on my debit card. Gasp. But anyway, she continued to say that they were shipping, because they'd sold this retreat that they'd bought for cash, they were shipping all of their belongings back via shipping container. I mean, I'll be honest, as a European, I'm slightly bewildered by this. It's Portugal, you know, hire a moving truck and drive it back. It's going to take you 2 or 3 days. I mean, less if you've got the driving tenacity and skill of the average US person. How US people drive the amount they do, I don't know. Hats off, kudos, amazing. But anyway, you know, she was saying that because all of her furniture was in transport on a shipping container coming from Portugal, that's why there wasn't anything in her home office. Which, when there's nothing in your home office, why are you giving a tour of it? Puzzling. But anyway, she then did a tour of her witchy office. And, you know, dearest cronies, I have watched a lot of witchy room tours. I mean, I plan on doing some myself at some point. But this was, wow, this was fascinating because there wasn't anything in it. I mean, the room, there wasn't anything in the room. She points the camera at a vase of roses, claiming that everyone should have cut roses in their office because they hold divine goddess energy, divine feminine goddess energy. She doesn't explain any more than that, but goes on to say at length that you deserve nice things. Can't argue with that. You're quite right. You do deserve nice things. But she says you deserve nice things and they only cost £3 from Sainsbury's, quote unquote. I would argue here that if you're looking for devotional goddess energy, imported roses in November bought for £3 from a supermarket and almost certainly harvested by poorly paid agricultural workers in an equatorial greenhouse situation, it's not where I'd go. I mean, she appears to have a plastic plant as well, so I'm not quite sure what god that one's representing. If Terry Pratchett was still with us, I think he'd probably have a hot take on it. But she goes on to tell us that during the course of this video, and this is the part, wow, this is the part that made me want to throw something very, very heavy through my computer monitor. If I owned a Buddha statue, it probably would have gone through the monitor at this point. But she goes on to say that she and her husband had sold their retreat in Portugal. Don't forget they bought it with cash because it wasn't a good place to bring up children, because the doctors had told her she couldn't have children, but the doctors don't know witches. So she did some magic and now she has babies. Apparently, medical issues are nothing to witches. Man, I got so angry. I'm still angry, and I can almost guarantee that I'm going to be angry tomorrow and next week and probably next month as well, because I am really lucky, incredibly lucky, because I have 2 kids. But I have friends who are not that lucky. Circumstances conspired against them. They wanted children desperately, but they couldn't have them. And for families in that situation, it is heartbreaking. Several of my pagan friends are absolutely in that situation. So this grifter saying that she did the equivalent of burning some sage and manifested babies, that is so insulting and dismissive of the pain of all those people whose journey is long, complex, medically technical, and still ends in heartbreak. How dare she say that she was able to have children because she just wished for them and was a witch? And after some more digging, I will tell you that her husband does not lock down his Facebook account, which is a mistake, I feel, and I'll go into later. But I'm not gonna leave a trail of breadcrumbs here because, well, he's got pictures of their children openly available for all to see. He does mention that it was not some kind of amazing witchy manifesting miracle that got their kids. No, IVF. Which is, last time I checked, available to people of all faiths and none. Anyway, back to the original rant. But this witchy room tour, right? Wow. Just wow. There literally was nothing in it. At one point, she points at a sideboard with 2 crystals on it. I won't bore you with telling you what they are for, she says. I'm guessing it's because she's got no clue what they are. We got 3 minutes on 10 cut roses from Sainsbury's, but not 20 seconds explaining what these intriguing crystals are for. I mean, I'm going to skirt the elephant in the room here, but I will also say that she recommends a book by a very famous turf witch author. Turf, be gone! Sorry, anyway, was that my outside voice? Sorry, I apologise. I can't abide fucking turfs. Anyway, so she points at this empty sideboard. And she says, here is where I do my ancestral work. It's a sideboard. It has one of those fake wooden carved fairy statues on it. Nothing else. And here is where I'm going to put my desk as my altar, she chirrups in her Brummy accent. There's a pile of, I don't know, stuff on the ground, something with a plug on it. Maybe it's a diffuser, I don't know, some scented candles and maybe a couple of boxes of oracle cards. But if that's where she's putting her altar, why is she doing ancestor work at the sideboard of nothingness? The altar in absentia is going to be for what? I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that she doesn't know what the crystals are for. That she doesn't understand what ancestor work is. And that she doesn't know what an altar is for. I know that I am now venturing into the land of witchier than thou, which is, a dangerous path to tread. Feel free to point fingers and shout, hypocrite, because I almost certainly deserve it. But if I'm honest here, I think that my chickens are witchier than this woman. I actually feel that my garden hose is probably witchier than her. Last night's curry as well. I'm getting very strong, I don't have a clue, but it looks like a niche I could sell to vibes at this point. I thought that all this felt more than slightly sketchy, to be honest. But then, I found a review site. And that site was called scampulse.com. I'll leave a link, okay, so you can go and have a look at it. Scampulse.com. There were 45 posts about Michelle Stonhill, and 43 of them were completely negative, claiming some pretty awful things, to be honest. So I've actually got a printout of just one of these reviews here. So I'm going to read this out to you. So bear with me while I look down at this piece of paper. So this review was by somebody called Helen J. And it's entitled "Complete Con Artist Should Be Prosecuted for Fraud!" And she says, "Michelle Stonhill conned me years ago. She's been doing this for years, and every couple of years she changes the name of her business and reinvents herself. Right now, she's apparently some sort of spiritual guru. Ridiculous. She's no more spiritual than my left foot. She's been declared bankrupt in the UK with a couple of other businesses. Yeah, a real successful businesswoman. She goes after vulnerable women with the promise of a better life, make more money, be successful, blah, blah, blah. Lots of women are taken in by her programs and promises and then get a rude awakening once they've signed her contract and realise it's all a big con. I've spoken to lots of women who tried to back away from her when they realise she's conned them, and then she takes them to court for the money and gets them to sign NDAs. There's women who have had marriages break down because of her, people who've lost homes and have had severe damage to their mental health, and still she continues chasing them. This woman is pure evil. She's always on about how people are nasty to her and tries to get sympathy from her audience about being victimised, etc. But the truth is far more sinister with the way she has treated women. Many people have reported her to the authorities/police, and right before COVID hit, there was an investigative journalist from a national newspaper looking into her. I believe that investigation has started up again, so watch this space. She will be exposed." There are 43 of these reviews saying very, very similar things at greater or lesser length. However, in the interest of fairness, I will also say that in this sea of posts about negativity and claims of scamming, bankruptcy and ripping people off, there were two, weirdly positive posts saying that Michelle Stonhill was brilliant, the money was well spent, and that their businesses were booming. Personally, I find the fact that there are two posts versus 43 to be a little bit odd. And why are people with overwhelmingly positive experiences looking for a website called Scam Pulse in order to post their positive experiences? The longest positive comment was from someone who claimed to be in the middle of a retreat with Michelle at the time of posting, which kind of begs the question, why is someone in the middle of a hugely positive retreat experience going looking for a scam website in order to defend the person leading that retreat? How did they know there were a whole load of negative reviews unless they either A, went looking for them, B, were told that they were there by someone else, or C, already knew they were there? I'm not going to tell you what you should think about this, but I would encourage you to figure out what you think the story behind this is. There are certain provable and inalienable facts though. When you look this woman up at Companies House, which is, for those of you not based in the UK, it's the central repository of registered information about businesses in the UK, you find out a few things. She and her husband have registered businesses before, several times in fact, but if you look them up on LinkedIn, then the dates and the names of the businesses are very different. And if you look at their YouTubes, you will see that once again, they appear to be pursuing different businesses at different times again. Theoretically, Companies House should have the definitive information, as that's where one submits all of the financial reports and audits for your business. So let's have a quick look there. The first company was JS Events Company Limited, run by Michelle's husband James, which was started in December 2011 and closed in May 2016 at their own request. Accounts show an outstanding director's loan that increased year on year, ending at £1,794 when they closed in 2016. Because it was a limited company, they will not have had to pay that back. Following quickly on from there, they both started JMS Leisure Limited in May 2012, which ran for 17 months and was closed down by compulsory strike-off, which means Companies House closed it because of some kind of operating, administration or financial irregularity. They never submitted financial accounts. And that could be part of the reason they were closed down. We don't know. All we know is irregularity. 5 months after starting JMS Leisure Limited, Michelle also started Donkey Face Promotions Limited, which did a little bit better in terms of longevity. It lasted until May 2016, the same time as JS Events Company closed as well. Mind you, it owed £5,632 when Michelle decided to close it. She didn't have to pay that back either. The last company to be started was Stonhill International Limited, which ran from October 2015 to March 2017, also closed down via compulsory strike-off for some kind of irregularity, and once again, no accounts. That's 4 companies in 6 years, 2 of them owing debtors a total of £7,426 at close of business, and the other 2 never submitting any accounts, so we're left to make assumptions based on the other information that we have. Now, all of this information is in the public domain, so if you're interested or you think I'm mistaken or that I'm making it up, do go and have a look for yourself. At this point, I think it's perfectly acceptable to say that maybe I'm being a bit grumpy and a bit mean. All these people are guilty of is running some unsuccessful businesses, half of which were closed down for unspecified irregularities and half of which were closed down by the directors with debts outstanding. Plenty of people have unlucky business dealings, but where it gets interesting is when you look at other online places that they've been and what they are saying there. James Stonhill says on LinkedIn that he ran a successful events business called The Events Company from 2005 to 2014, only finishing because he didn't enjoy being reliant on contracts from other people. Companies House disagrees. According to them, he ran a business called JS Events Company Limited for just 4.5 years from the very end of 2011. And it wasn't very successful and it closed down owing nearly £2,000 to creditors and a director's loan to James. Once again, this isn't me throwing muck and seeing what will stick. This is in the public domain. And what of Michelle? Well, her LinkedIn public profile is a lot more cagey than her husband's, which I've got to say is quite sensible. She mentions being a millionaire mentor to online CEOs since July 2014, which is interesting on a couple of different levels. As in July 2014, according to Companies House, she was still running Donkey Face Promotions Limited, and that continued to run until May 2016, when she closed it down with over £5,000 of debts. It's not very millionaire mentor, is it? I mean, I don't know which set of optics are better. She was a millionaire but chose not to pay her debts, or she's not a millionaire, closed down her business to wipe her debts out so she could start again. I mean, neither of them, if we're honest here, is a particularly great look for someone who's selling themselves on the back of their financial and business acumen, right? The second interesting aspect is that she claims to have been a millionaire mentor from July 2014. But if you look at her publicly available YouTube account, you'll know that in July 2014, she and her husband James were on stage with a lot of other people in a big venue. America? I don't know, maybe not. All of whom were wearing manager sashes and holding bouquets of flowers. James was giving a speech about how much their new roles in Forever Living meant to them. Michelle took over when he got too emotional about the freedom this business had given them. I looked up Forever Living and I encourage you to do the same. It is a skincare and wellness MLM company, an MLM. These millionaire mentors were doing MLM at the time that they claimed to be running at least 3 other companies and a 6 or 7-figure mentoring business. I'm going to assume that you know what an MLM is, but if you don't, please Google it. Having watched some of Michelle's videos, I can say that she doesn't use the phrase MLM at all, but it totally is. She's calling it network marketing, which sounds quite a clever thing, doesn't it? Interestingly, by calling it network marketing, you are also admitting that it isn't about the product that you're claiming to sell. It's about the network of people who you can recruit and make money from. She talks about this big business of entrepreneurs, but if you've either come across MLMs before or you've just taken the time to go and Google it, you'll understand that it isn't really a business at all. It's about recruiting people who will pay for you to have a salary in the hope that the people who they recruit will in turn pay for their salary. It's a pretty toxic way to make money because there's always somebody at the bottom of the pile trying to hustle Amway dish drops to pay their mortgage and not understanding why they don't have a McMansion and a convertible car like everybody above them in the organisation. So these people are running an MLM scheme, running 2 independent businesses and being millionaire mentors whilst travelling the world. And they do indeed seem to be travelling the world because, well, their Facebook accounts are 100% public. I mean, this alone shocked me beyond the telling of it. And I think this is the thing that bewilders me the most about all of this. They haven't hidden any of it. It is all laid out in a very easy line for anyone to follow. Are they naive? Are they stupid? I genuinely don't know. Maybe it's a bit of both. I went digging and I found a lot. And most worryingly, they don't seem to be even slightly interested in covering up any of their lives or their personal lives. Their Facebook profiles are open and public, including details of their children, birthdays, addresses, photos of the children, connections with family members, and more. Just please don't go looking for them because it's horrific. Literally, it's horrific. I haven't seen this level of online stuff, mistakes, openness since my mum got on Facebook and she was 80. You know, she didn't understand about stalkers and scammers and what have you. She just, oh my God, but it just horrified me. I mean, who does that these days? And once again, I ask the question, are they naive or are they stupid? They're selling all these people information on how to, present yourself on the internet to attract business, but they don't understand how vital it is to lock pictures of your children and your personal details. Do I trust the technical advice of people who don't appear to know how to lock their own personal Facebook profiles? I mean, her Instagram appears to be the beating heart of her belief that she is a witch. Now, I'm not sure what she bases this belief on, as there doesn't seem to be any evidence that she cares about much besides her family and money. I'd be fascinated to know what tradition she thinks she follows, who her inspirations are, or even what her practice looks like. She does, however, talk a lot about manifesting, which, as you probably know if you've followed me for a little while, is not something that I consider to be the beginning, end and middle of witchcraft. People who've made a lot of money with manifesting are usually the people who sell the courses and books on manifesting, if you know what I mean, right? I mean, mind you, having said that, I should also probably mention that Michelle is quite keen on letting people know that she is a, and I quote, best-selling author. I mean, I'll point out that she has 2 books on Amazon. Both of them are available for free on Kindle Unlimited and both are self-published. One has 1 review, 3 stars, but that 1 review mentions the Scam Pulse claims about her honesty, so there's that. And the other one has 4.5 stars, but only 3 actual reviews, 2 of which were quite critical. Her best-selling book currently ranks at... Now, just to explain here, you're aware that on bestseller lists you have number 1, number 2, number 3, like number 1 best-selling, number 2 best-selling. But her best-selling book of the 2 currently rates as the 1,876,914th best-selling book on Amazon. I mean, so I'd argue that by her definitions, I'm also a best-selling author because I wrote a book during lockdown and I got 9 5-star reviews. And only 50% of them are from people that I'm related to. So, don't be too impressed. I can't even find my sales book ranking. I don't know. Imagine other authors are shaking in their boots at the prospect of competition from me. But maybe they are at the prospect of competition from Michelle Stonhill. Anyway, I've waffled on for quite a while here, and if you stayed through to the end, I award you a gold star for tenacity. This woman angered me, not just because she's using a spiritual path to sell her snake oil, a spiritual path that I care about a great deal, I should say, but because she's doing that and making a very good living from the suffering and pain of others. Some of the Scam Pulse reviews were harsh reading and my heart bled for them. Women whose marriages have suffered because they've believed Michelle Stonhill's promises. Women whose consequent financial hardship has threatened their family and their children as well. Every bronzed Instagram post of the Stonhills living off of somebody else's money is an insult to these women who absolutely feel that they were cheated out of their hard-earned cash. Now, to finish off, I want to say, and it's going to seem a bit weird, but you'll see where I'm going with this. I want to say that one of my favourite stately homes in the UK is in Wales. It's a place called Castell Coch. I went to see it for the first time when I was 6. My mother, and I get my socialist leanings from her, my mother held my tiny 6-year-old hand and she pointed to these incredible fairy tale murals and carvings inside, and she whispered to me, never forget that all of this was built on the back of the working man. And I haven't. The Stonhill's life looks gorgeous. But remember what my mum said. All of it was built on the back of the working man. And to extend her point here in a way that I know she'd approve of, I will say yes, all of it was built on the back of the working man, but don't let that working man be you. Right, we are going to go on and I'm going to show you a little vlog, a really little vlog, because this has gone on quite a while, a really little vlog about what me and Mr. Grumpy Old Crone did at the weekend, because we had a lovely time and I think I need to leave you with something positive. Okay? So, time for the positive bit. Here comes the positive bit. I'm going to lead into this by saying Mr. Grumpy Old Crone and I went off to trade because he makes leather armour. If you've heard any thunks from next door, it's because he's making leather armour to replace stocks that we sold at the weekend. We went to a place called Butterley and there was a steampunk event on there because we like a bit of steampunk. And we set up our tent and we did a little bit of trading there, but there were real steam trains. It's the coolest thing. We were at a steampunk event with real steam trains. It was brilliant. The sun shone. We got ourselves a hotel room for the weekend. Normally we camp, but we got a hotel room and we had the most amazing relaxed time. In the middle of it, we found out from my friend Alex Bear that opposite the hotel we got, there was like a little publicly owned wood with a little trail around it. So in the middle of this amazing thing, we had a little walk around one evening in the wood, and that was lovely as well. So we've had a really great weekend, which is exactly what I needed after spending all week getting really wound up about this stupid woman scamming people of their money. So I'll show you my little tiny vlog about what I did at the weekend. Setting up at the steampunk event is Mr. Grumpy Old Crone getting our tent set up, but I've got to show you this, where we are. You can probably hear it, you're wondering what the noise is. How cool is that? So all those people who asked what we were doing this weekend, we are steampunk trading at Fairy Tales and Steam Trains, I believe. Here's Mr. Grumpy Old Crone in his trophy hunter. There we go, he can take out somebody attempting to murder a rhinoceros at 50 paces. Brilliant. And here is our rather lovely tent. And I'll give you a quick show what we're doing. So we've got our best-selling battle corset here. This one is called Bertha. This is Bertha. Welcome, Bertha. We have our hat stand of assorted pauldrons, which are the shoulder bits of armour that go on. And over here we have Bert. This is Bert, Witcher Bert, we like to call him. And as we go inside, first of all, we've got me. Hello. And then we've got, I'm going to have to back up a bit here so you can see everything because it's quite a lot of display. So we've got loads of leather pouches, we've got fans, we've got wands, not magical wands, just kind of dress wands. We've got knee armour, we've got leather corsets, more pouches in all kinds of different colours. We've got like little coin pouches, we've got medieval coin pouches, more belts than any sane person could possibly want. Ever want to go tea dueling? We have everything you need for tea dueling. Those are all of our teacup sets that you can wear. And then we've got hero belts at the back here. And we've got like 1,000,001 barrettes and key rings, which we need to price. We forgot to do that. And we've got gaiters at the back here, and van braces for your wrists. More belts, articulated arm harness armour, braces around the corner. We have the beginning of our new range of guns, and a friend of mine asked for when he wanted to know what our weird labelling was. There we go. Board of Ordnance Certified Failure. Fabulous. And we've got little potion bottles here, and oh, and there's my wedding headdress, which I'm going to wear later. At the moment I'm in a bowler hat. Yeah, so that's us, and this is the trader area. Everybody's pretty much set up now, and we've got steam trains in the background, which is just the coolest thing ever. So yeah, that's what we're doing this weekend. And then literally right outside the hotel that we treated ourselves to for the weekend was this wonderful little public woodland with a footpath all the way around it and a lake in the middle. It was just glorious. How fab is that? Goodbye, steampunk Sallies. Off to marshal people onto the trains and away from the lures of the really lovely mead stall. So that was our weekend. Mad and so much fun. I forgot to record my bye wave, so please imagine I'm doing it now. Bye!